Well, I hope everyone had a really good 4th of July, Independence Day weekend. It was pretty amazing here in Steamboat. We had a nice parade where it was actually a drive-through parade that came all the way through different neighborhoods in town instead of all being downtown, and then went up to Steamboat Lake to see a pretty amazing fireworks show. So hi everybody, this is John James with the James team at Remax Partners, and I'm coming with you now with another market update. We are getting into the stats for June, and as always when we start the month, we start off with the entire market to see where things are and where things are going. So first off, we'll start with the median sold price. Median sold price was up 9% from last year. It was $445,000 in June of 2019, and last month it was $485,000. So pretty substantial jump up right there. We also have the number of sales. This, as expected, as we've been seeing as a trend, the number of sales was down substantially. It was down 12.2% from 948 last year to 832 this year. And the sales volume overall was down a bit too. Last year, where it was almost 609 million, it was down to 577,491,188, with a change of about 5.2% for the month of June. Days on market, now we'll get into like the inventory side of things. Days on market was up about 14.3%, and that is going from 84 last year to 96 days this year, continuing the trend we've been seeing probably over the last 8 or 9 months, that it is taking a little bit longer to sell overall for the market. And then the month supply, that's kind of telling us that as far as the inventory, that is down. The month supply is down 13.1% from last year. It was 6.1 months right at a stable market, and is now down to 5.3 months. That is putting it into the seller's market category. But a lot that what's driving this too is the number of active listings. Last year 484, this year is 409. That's a 15.5% drop. This has been very, very steady over the months, but has seen a bit of a drop since COVID had started. So yeah, there's just not much inventory out there, so people are snatching things up, and we're seeing that happen. As far as the sales to list price ratio, that creeped up by 0.1% to 97.5%. So if you were selling at 100,000, you were getting 97,500. Selling at $1 million, getting 975,000. It's pretty simple right there. And we look at how that compares to price reductions to see if you're getting close to that original list price. And the price reductions were down also. It was 123 price reductions last year in June, down to 101 this year. So not much change on the prices right there. Now we get into what we call the COVID stats. We look at what's back on the market. Overall, we saw for the month of June that actually went up a bit. It was 36 that were under contract last year and fell out of contract in the month of June. This year it was 47, so that's a pretty substantial change. As far as pending listings, this kind of starts to tell us, well, how are things going to be maybe for this month, the month of July. Last year it was 1,060 pending listings. This year was 1,014, so it dropped by about 4.3%. Not a substantial change, but it is something to keep note of. And I'll have to say that for the end, like last week, which was the end of June and beginning of July, saw pendings kind of jump up, and we saw closed listings really kick in. So that might be more on the beginning of July rather than the end of June. Going back to a couple of other COVID stats, we looked at the number of sales again, but this time looking over a period of time from March to June. And how much has the market changed because of COVID? We saw that it dropped about 12.2% from March to June. And then we look at that same time last year where it went up 0.6%. So a 12.8% differential, still in the double digits. So that's pretty, that is still pretty substantial. Also with the total dollar volume from March to June, that has dropped about 11.7%. Compare that to being up 4.5% from March to June last year. So we're looking at, you know, like a 16.2% decrease in sales volume. So those are numbers that are we're keeping an eye on. Basically, the entire market, there's not as many sales, and you know, they are not generating as much volume. But the one thing that has been pretty constant is the median sales price. That still continues to creep up, and we'll probably see that until we get more inventory on the market. So that's where we are right now. We're going to get into price segments, type segments, and location segments throughout the rest of July. And I'm also going to try to we're going to get a mortgage broker in here and also look at these median sales prices for all those types of segments and see what could you get now compared to what you could get this time last year, especially with where interest rates are right now. That's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. We'll post that up when it's ready. And for the meantime, take care, have a great one, and happy 4th of July again.